What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Patriots Real-Time Podcast. I'm your host, Theo Diesenhaus. Today we're doing a podcast, or I'm doing a podcast for the first time in a few weeks. Me and Austin both got sick. We both got sick, so that's why we missed last week. And then on Friday, we went to the Red Sox versus... Who did the Red Sox play? The Red Sox played the Tigers. The Red Sox versus Tigers game, which ended up being a Cedar Rafaela walk-off home run for the Red Sox to clinch, so that was fun. And then this week, I wasn't really feeling too great, but didn't really prevent anything. But the Red Sox were on. It was playoff baseball. We were locked in, so that's why we haven't done a podcast in a while. And then yesterday, we were going to do a podcast, but kind of just didn't align with anything. We were very busy, so we couldn't do that. But right now, I was like, you know what, I'm super bored. Why not just hop on, do a quick solo pod? But yeah, let's get into it. The Patriots have played 2 games since I last recorded a podcast, so we'll go over both of those games. One of them was a loss and one of them was a win. One of them was extremely frustrating. One of them was extremely not frustrating. So let's start off with the Steelers game. The Patriots turned the ball over 5 times. That was the headline of the game. If they turned the ball over 4 times, they would have won that football game. And yeah, it just was not a good game all around from anyone. Ramondre Stevenson had 2 fumbles. He was benched. Antonio Gibson had a fumble. He was also benched. Antonio Gibson also playing a little fullback. So I think that Brock Lampy, broken leg or leg injury, I should say, is really coming back to haunt the Patriots. I think Josh McDaniels really wants to rely on a fullback. And we saw a little bit of Jack Westover against the Panthers last week, but it's just not good enough. He's not a good enough fullback for this offense to really hit their stride or hit full stride, I think. And I think the Patriots need a fullback. Obviously, this offense did numbers against the Panthers, but I think adding a fullback to this run game, because outside of Ramondre Stevenson having a few nice runs, this run game has not been great. TreVeyon Henderson is not having the greatest season of all time on the ground, and that gets into a take I'll talk about later. But I don't think this run game has been fully opened up, and you have really 2 quality caliber running backs in TreVeyon Henderson, who I think can be elite. Maybe not between the tackles, but he should be elite. And then you also have a guy like Ramondre Stevenson who can run between the tackles, who has been playing well, but imagine that with a fullback who can actually play fullback and not Antonio Gibson in short yardage situations. Also, the Patriots continuously running the same play on 4th down is just not very smart to me. But yeah, I have a lot of Patriots takes that I haven't got off in the last 2 weeks, if you couldn't tell. So let's talk more about these turnovers. So the Stevenson, both fumbles were bad. The one for Gibson was not terrible. A helmet hit it, and then Drake May had a fumble too, which was just awful. One of his worst plays, really of his career. He was looking to flip the ball to TreVeyon Henderson. I watched the film a little bit on that play, and I was like, I do not see how he could have got that to TreVeyon Henderson, but I guess he could have. He was running by, so it made sense. He just, when the ball kind of came out, he was so far upfield that I was like, how the hell is he going to get that? But if you see when he's trying to flip it and he kind of, I don't know, but it would have been a tough play because he was kind of already past where Drake was. Let's say the camera's here. TreVeyon Henderson was probably out of frame, out where my hand is, which you can't see, which is the intent of that. But no, yeah. So it wasn't a good decision by Drake May at all. And then also the interception is really kind of the first time that we've seen this out of Drake May. And hopefully we never see this again. But this wasn't a bad read at all out of Drake May. It was kind of just a bad throw. And I don't think we've seen that too much out of him, because he just has such great, well, I guess we have seen that out of him. But just no, I don't know. But usually when he throws an interception, it's a bad read. Sometimes, yeah, it's those high throws. This wasn't really a high throw. This wasn't I don't know. We just haven't seen this bad of a throw from Drake May. I don't mean to use such a stupid word, but no, it just wasn't he throws the ball. He should have had the ball in the back corner of the end zone. He threw it towards kind of the middle of the end zone, and it just was an awful throw from Drake. It should have been a touchdown, so the Patriots should have won that game, obviously. Ramondre Stevenson also fumbled in the end zone. Spillane had an interception. Spillane, who we talked about on our down list, having back-to-back really bad games, just had back-to-back really good games. He had the interception. He led the team in tackles. I believe it was with 14. So shout out Robert Spillane. And then Hunter Henry, these last 2 games, he's been on his tear. He had 2 touchdowns against the Steelers, and then he also had I think he had a good game as well against the Panthers. So yeah, Christian Ellis. Let's talk about Christian Ellis. Ellis is a guy coming into the season where we all kind of penciled in, like lightly penciled in, him being the linebacker too. Jelani Tavai has still not been ruled out for this week. He has a shot to play, so maybe he'll be your linebacker too, but he's more of an outside backer. But it's been Jack Gibbons and Marte Mapu kind of rotating in for Ellis, and they've played better. I had this take on an Instagram post earlier in the week, and it was like, when Christian Ellis is out of the game, did I say Jack Gibbons? Yeah. When Christian Ellis is out of the game, the defense just gets better. You look at the drives that Ellis has played. It was the first 2 drives against Pittsburgh when they got absolutely stomped on. And then you look at the first drive against Carolina. He's in the game and he immediately gets benched. And they don't look up a single other touchdown outside of the one in garbage time. So Ellis has been a problem. Alex Austin, I don't blame him. Christian Gonzalez is back also, so he won't have to play as big of a role. He can go back to his slot corner role, which he was thriving in all summer, and then abruptly, well, I guess not really abruptly, but I don't know. I kind of have a foggy memory of that. But Alex Austin benched. He wasn't benched for 2 weeks in a row, but Marcus Jones had a good game against the Panthers not in the slot, but he had a good game against the Panthers. One of the best games from a special teams performance ever. He had 2 punt returns that were really, really nice. He had an 87-yard punt return touchdown where he called, basically, I don't know. We all assumed he called for a fair catch because he had no shot of returning that, but he did. Yeah, the Patriots dropped 42 points, first 40-burger since 2022, and that was the 2021 season. It was January 3rd, I believe. Diggs had his best game as a Patriot, 6 for 101, ahead of his return to Buffalo. It's going to be his first time going back to Buffalo. Drake May had 3 touchdowns. He ran for 1, he threw 2. He threw 1 to Hunter Henry, and then he also threw another one, I believe, to Mac Hollins. So Mac Hollins has 2 touchdowns. He's your leading receiver in touchdowns. Kayshon Boutte had a nice catch. But other than that, it was mainly Stephon Diggs, like I mentioned. Marcus Jones, like I said, and then also Travion Henderson gets his first rushing touchdown of the year, and then Antonio Gibson gets his second touchdown of the year. So let's talk about this game against the Bills, because that's why most of you guys are here, or if anyone's here. But the Buffalo Bills I would say it's pretty safe to say that they are going to be competing for a Super Bowl this season. They're 4-0. They've dominated pretty much every opponent they've played outside of the Ravens, which they ended up coming back and winning. This is a good team, to kind of put it in simple terms. They beat the Saints, who are the worst team in the NFL, 31-19. They beat the Dolphins 31-21. They beat the Jets 30-10. So those are double-digit wins. Three out of their 4 games are double-digit wins. And then they beat the Ravens 41-40. So kind of the fact that the Bills are cruising right now actually gives me a little bit more hope than if they had lost to New Orleans, because then this would be their get-right game. I still don't have the Patriots winning, but I think it's going to be a close game. It's Sunday Night Football. The lights are out. Hopefully Drake May... Well, he said he's going to be amped up. You know the high throws are coming. But I don't know. Hopefully Drake May can limit those high throws. Hopefully the Bills don't take advantage. Because if the Bills take advantage of the amped up Drake May, then this is going to be a long night for Patriots fans. It's going to be a long night for Patriots fans regardless. But yeah, so it's going to be an exciting game tomorrow. 8:20 Sunday Night Football. Let's talk about let's dive deeper, into this Bills team. Obviously, Josh Allen at the helm. he's one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the NFL, maybe outside of Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson 1-3. They also have a really, really good running back room, not only in James Cook, but also in, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the name. Is it Ray Davis? Hold on. Let me get the depth chart up here. Nope. Bills depth chart. Sorry, this is a bit all over the place. Haven't done a podcast in a while, if you couldn't tell. Bit rusty here, but it's okay. It is Ray Davis. Okay, so not only is James Cook a good running back, Ray Davis is also a good running back. Well, not having a great season this year, but, you know, it's all right. James Cook is having a good season, though. Let's look at, Ray Davis last year had 400 yards, which isn't great, but for a rookie with a top 5 running back, not bad at all. So let's look at James Cook here. Probably the best running back in the NFL to start the year. Maybe not, but yeah, no, I think he might be. He might be. He has the 6th most carries, but the 2nd most yards this season with 75 carries and 401 total yards, and then 5 touchdowns, which is the most in the NFL. He's averaging 5.3 yards per carry, which is 52nd in the NFL, but also that doesn't, yards per carry does not really mean anything relative to the NFL, because there could be guys that have 1 carry for 80 yards. But which are factored in there. But at 5.3 yards per carry is very, very, it's insane. That means you hand the ball off to him twice and he's getting 2 first downs. So their wide receiver core is not too bad at all. They just led by Keon Coleman, who's a solid player, Khalil Shakir as well, Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore, Josh Palmer, who's also a solid player, but nothing special. I really wanted the Patriots to get Josh Palmer, but it's fine. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox is a pretty good tight end duo. Probably be better than yours, but we'll see. Deion Dawkins is a really nice left tackle. Patriots going to be missing Caleb Chason, so that will hurt them against Spencer Brown, who is questionable. Let's check on Spencer Brown here. Yeah, so they have him as questionable. I don't have not much more information on Spencer Brown here, but a solid right tackle for the Bills. Connor McGovern, one of the best centers in the NFL. Also, I believe he is very good. Very good. He's a very good cook. So shout out Connor McGovern. David Edwards, your left guard. I've never heard of him. Alec Anderson, backup. That doesn't mean anything. But Chase London is the backup right tackle if Brown won't be able to go. And then Osiris Torrance is your right guard. This defense is scary. A lot of questionables here. Dorian Williams is out, their one of their linebackers. So kind of a big break for Buffalo, but honestly, not. Let's see. Let's check out him. Because personally, I've never heard of him. He has 10 tackles on the year, so he's not a terrible break for Buffalo, but defensive starters out, so that's all something. Lot of questionable guys here. Ed Oliver is probably, well, he's a stud. I'm not going to say he's probably the best player on defense, but he's a stud. Greg Rousseau is probably their best player. That both sides are pretty good. Greg Rousseau and then Joey Bosa, who I'm going to check his stats for the year, but Joey Bosa is not his brother. He has 2 sacks on the year, so he's not having the greatest year of all time, but he has 4 forced fumbles on the season. Oh boy. The Patriots, I'm going to guess, lead the NFL in fumbles. That's not 100% true. But 4 fumbles in a game, I don't think they've had any other fumbles, have they? No. So maybe not, but Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson fumbles the football. Matt Milano is a really good linebacker. He is questionable. And then I guess that's all. Oh, I guess I saw the out. TJ Sanders is a backup defensive tackle, is also questionable. And then Dorian Strong, a cornerback, is out for Buffalo. Taylor Rapp, Cole Bishop, Tre'Davious White is a good cornerback. He's on the older side. Whoa. He is on the older side, but I think he's still a pretty solid guy over there at cornerback. And then their first-round pick, Maxwell Harrison, is on IR. But, yeah, so that's pretty much the Bills team. My biggest start for this week is going to be Greg Rousseau, the defensive end. Left defensive end would mean he's going up against the right tackle. So another test for Morgan Moses, who has pretty much handled those tests pretty well so far this season. Carolina didn't have anyone special, but Joey Bosa against Will Campbell is going to be an interesting matchup. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. I'm going to give a score prediction real quick for this game. I have the Bills winning. I don't know. I don't think they got... No, the Patriots defense isn't good. I have the Bills winning 35-24. So we'll see. Austin does not have a score prediction. So, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, all right. That will do it for the Patriots Real Time podcast. And we will hopefully be back on Monday. Monday to talk about... Yeah, definitely not after the game on Sunday. On Monday to talk about the Patriots game. Is it going to be a win? I don't know. I think it's going to be a loss. But the Patriots game against the Bills, and then back on probably not Friday, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll try to get in 2 parts this week. Maybe it will be a preview and a post game on Monday for who they have next. I believe it's the Saints, but for the Saints, yes, I think. But yeah, so we will see you on Monday, hopefully.